Another day in hell.
I still got my screwdrivers.
Should have stayed in Florida. I lost my fuel pump. He got baptized by a streetcar. That's what we need, huh?
Yeah, oh, it's a, is that, let me see. Yep.
So you're back from Florida.
Back from Florida.
You got some sun.
Had a good little trip. It was nice to get away, and you know, we've been working on this thing pretty hard. And
what are those?
I really wanted to. These are my basketball shoes for outdoor. But I really wanted to take the truck down to Orlando, but we kind of ran out of time. And while I was gone, Kenny and Rob got the hood mounted. Got new carpet put in it. Check the carpet off. Isn't that fresh?
Ooh, it's blue. You listen to my advice. Do you like blue? Do you like it? I think it looks good.
Can't really see, but we'll pull it outside so you can see better.
What's going on over there? You got a.
Oh, Rob's been working on his car. He put a camshaft in it.
But we just doubled up the garage now.
Yeah, we just decided, like, the guy that was over here, he's never here, and I don't think he'll even notice, you know. But we just cut this wall out right here and put Rob's car in there. He's never here.
Did you make Rob run through the wall like Kool-Aid Man?
Yeah, he did. Oh yeah. Yeah, so like, you know, if he comes over or something, you know, we'll have to like get it out. But he hasn't been here in a while, so I think we'll be all right.
But he's cool with it.
He should be, yeah. I mean, he seems like a pretty cool guy.
Damn.
Got these new valve covers from DJC Industries. Thank you guys.
Sick.
My man Meticulous welded these up, welded the bungs on for me, and DJC Industries sent these out, so make sure you guys check them out. They're really nice. I told them I wanted like a polished black look, kind of like the old AFR valve covers, and they nailed it. So.
Those are fucking cool.
Definitely cool. So we're gonna put those on, but first, we've got a bunch of little issues to figure out. I drove it around for the first time last night, and we're having an intermittent issue where it's cutting the ignition off above like 2,500 to 3,000 RPM, and it does it like clockwork every like second and a half. It's just really frustrating. Can't seem to figure it out. I did a dialogue, and I data logged the number 6 and number 7 diagnostics to do the crank and cam sensor, and I didn't get any errors on either of them while it was missing and cutting out. So I'm hoping it's not the Holly itself, because we also had some issues, you know, when we first got it, with it not wanting to turn the injectors on after it started. So yeah, we're trying to figure a bunch of little stuff out. We got some oil leaks we're trying to fix now. We didn't have any brakes last night, so we got a little, what is this, Rob?
It's a residual brake valve.
Residual brake valve. So hopefully this keeps our brake pressure up, because I don't really have any brakes. So
that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great, but there's a ton of bugs we gotta sort out.
Well, dude, you've done so many different things to this truck. It's not going to be perfect when you first try and go drive it. I mean, it's going to have bugs.
The Nova was pretty close to perfect, other than the oil pressure issue that we had. This thing's just fighting me a little bit. I think it wants to stay carbureted or something. It's fighting back for sure.
We'll figure it out. It's something dumb that we're missing, or there's something weird.
Bucko got the front end all done. It's all sorted out. We'll have to put the hood on it here in a little bit once we get done working on it. Looks really good. The hood fits awesome. I got the hood from Racer's Edge fiberglass, and it's probably the best fitting hood I've ever had on anything. Perfect. So I guess we're gonna have to go get a timing light because my timing light shit out as well. We're trying to figure out how much timing's in the freaking motor. We can't even do that.
And then later we should be able to move the Falcon over to my house and get the Nova back over here if we have time today.
Well, Dad's on his way over with another ECU. It was in my Nova, it's in a box, but I can't remember if it's the one that was already burnt up. I've been through a couple of these, so I guess we'll look at it when it gets here, and I should be able to tell if it's the one that I had in my Nova or not. Our dryer broke today too.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so I get home, I'm faced with all kinds of issues. Dryer breaks, Jax ate my memory foam pillow. Jax buried the remote for the TV in the yard.
Did you ever find that?
No, it's not in the house. We've looked everywhere. It's gotta be out in the yard. He also likes to take all our underwear and put them out in the yard. So got that going for me. And then, yeah, they tore up a bunch of boxes and the house looked like a war zone when we got home. Oil leaks. Should have the brake fixed. He's got another part coming from Mark. Had to get a union. Hopefully we get a timing light that works. Hopefully this isn't the one that I bricked in the Nova.
Bricked? What's that mean?
One that I locked up.
How much are those things?
$2,500.
I had a slight stumble in the truck this morning I had to fix. 3 little flat washers fixed it.
It's cute. Yeah, you like those?
Those are nice. For a spare.
Yeah.
For the longest time, it sat on your dad's bench,
Yeah.
and then everything got put in a Nova.
Yeah, it's gotta be new.
I mean,
I'll
'cause
have
it
to
has
put
the new
V6
cord and
on it.
everything that hasn't been unwrapped yet.
I'll have to put V6 on it, but
Retail store, Dave speaking.
Dave, is Terry there today?
Yes, sir. It's with customer right at the moment.
Can you check and see if you've got a Holley Dominator ECU in stock?
We can do that for you.
so
What's wrong with your other ones?
I've been having an issue with the truck where it likes to cut in and out above like 2,500 to 3,000 RPM. And I'm not getting any type of crank or cam signal loss when I data log it. Everything seems fine. It idles perfectly fine. It'll cruise up the road fine. It's just above a certain RPM, it drops ignition. And sometimes it'll even backfire because it'll load up on fuel and then it'll fire the second time around. The only thing we can think is that the ECU has an issue because when we first got it, we had another issue with the thing. It wouldn't fire the injectors after it got to the crank to run RPM. So then we updated it and it was okay, but it won't come up on the brake. It won't build any more RPM than like 3,000 without cutting in and out. So we might have to try a different ECU. We think this one might be damaged in some way.
We still got that carburetor.
I've thought about it.
We'd be doing rolling smokies by now, son. I still got my screwdrivers.
All the grid stuff is all right there. Everything is right there in that box.
I have thought about it. We didn't have this trouble with the Nova.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, but
The Nova tricked us. We thought it was easy.
but
It should be.
It should be.
It should be easy. Yeah. It already had a version of Holley on it that I'd never put on it.
Right. We had to go through all of that to get it to work, and then now that it works and runs and idles, now it won't rev up.
There's probably a reason why June Pup's the sweetest pup in the world. She is. Do her tap off. Yeah. This is the last truck. And if this doesn't work, we're putting that back on.
So we put a brand new Holley Dominator in it, And this one, when I started it up, or I got into the computer, it said that it didn't have any kind of firmware on it. It had like a version that was not even V5, not V4, nothing. That's how they're supposed to be when they come. The last one I had, it had a version of V5 on it that was already corrupt. So I tried to load a tune to it and it wouldn't fire the injectors. So we updated it to V6. It started to run okay, but then it's got this weird ignition cut issue above 2,500 RPM. So we're gonna try this new ECU and we'll see if it works. That's about the last thing I can think of. I gotta do a TPS auto set real quick. Yep. So it's got to be the crank or the cam.
Why does it sound like the ignition timing's so retarded in it?
It's not. It's
I know
advanced.
I know it's not supposed to be according to the timing marker out here, but when you rev it up, it just sounds like it's the ignition timing's retarded.
It's not. There's no way.
Yeah. If you are reading both of those and you don't have a signal starting, you can look at injector pulse width down here. You should have right now that I don't think that's an actual real log.
Stupid.
We knew it. I said so.
All right, so let me show you. Goodness. So you missed it. We just started up and I revved it to 9 grand, but not literally, but okay, it was 5, but it sounded better than what I had. So I had this, right? This is in your boost setup, boost ICF. So there's safeties, right? This switch input trigger was set for shifter active active for 1 second. And the shifter must have thought it was active, and so it was cutting the ignition. I don't know why it was cut at a certain RPM, but
Well, it makes
that
sense
was,
'cause it's set for 1 second. Remember you said it would cut at 1 second.
yeah,
About
every 1 second.
And every 1 second in the graph, it was
Yeah.
cutting it out. That makes sense. That's set for 1 second, which what I read, it said if you increase those parameters, it should do it it shouldn't do it. So if you set that for however many seconds it'll go
Yeah.
for.
So I just set it to ignore. I don't know why in the world that was set for the shifter to be active for 1 second, but yeah, that was our issue. So now I can go drive it. Good job, Rob.
I knew it was something dumb.
who called it? Rob did.
I did. I've been sitting over here
He
reading.
was looking
and-
through a form.
Yeah, looking through a different forum and just Googling stuff.
Because there's
and I came
only a
across
few
it.
things in the Holly that can actually cut the ignition, and one of them is a boost safety.
Boost safety, a TPS safety, and a timing or a fuel loss.
But I didn't even know that you could set it for a switch trigger like a shifter to cut the ignition. That's weird.
So I mean, if it's set for a shifter, that's probably set for like if it over revs and doesn't shift,
Yeah, cuts
that
the
it won't
ignition
blow
off.
it up.
Interesting, very interesting.
Well, we learned something new on the Holly though.
Hey, and our other ECU isn't junk, so I don't have
that's
to buy you
fine.
another ECU. And it's already got a tune in it that should fire up.
Yeah, I think difference cubic inch wise.
Yeah. Well, let's set the timing on it now that we got a timing
We
light.
have to set the timing and then we have to bleed the front brakes. Too far?
Yeah, go ahead and move it back. I'm gonna have to do it with the settings in the computer.
Probably set it back to 30. We had it at 36 initially when we first started everything.
Well, it's got the ignition reference angle at 51, and I'll probably have to move that around to get it right.
Yeah, because isn't it 10 or something like that difference? All right, so I'll leave it loose and you see if it'll start. I'll hold it, make sure, and then I can pull it back just a little bit. Look. You want me to lock it down right there?
Yeah.
It's staying like 46, 48.
So we need to raise the idle just a little bit. It's wanting to die, so I was having to put my foot on it just a little. There's a screwdriver that fits that Allen somewhere. Now we're just setting the ignition right. Timing. It's fine.
Okay.
So I changed it from rising to falling edge, and that was enough to get it back to where it needed to be, 40.
10, how it's supposed to be or whatever. I'm relieved that it was something dumb. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not some wiring nightmare that we have to
I
go
gotta
through
dissect
and
everything
splice.
again.
It was something stupid put in the computer by a stupid person.
Who was the stupid person?
Obviously me, because I'm the only one been in the laptop.
So it's good now.
Yep. EFI is great, but it's gonna do every fucking thing you tell it to. And if you tell it to do something wrong, it's gonna do something wrong.
Like I told him, it's a learning curve from both things. We learned a lot on the rising, falling deal with the ignition and all that stuff on the Nova. We went through that 20 times. And the one wire that kept the Nova from starting, that had to have 12 volts to it. We knew that going into this, it had to have that. Now we know about that boost thing and settings in the...
It's always something dumb, man.
Yeah.
It's always something dumb.
And that's a good part, is that'll always stick with us now. Hey, could have been a problem. Let's check that.
Gotta bleed the brakes. And I'm taking the wastegate dump tubes off that we haven't finished, just so they can, in case I do decide to open the gates up when I take it on a drive. Probably put the hood on it, check, make sure it has fuel, and take it around the block. Got good oil pressure, water temp's 130. See how it does. Shifter feels really nice. It's Motion Raceworks shifter. I'm trying to get used to it. It's a little different from what I'm used to with the Pro Stick. It does feel nice though. probably gonna keep it because it's a high revving engine. I may go to a 390, we'll see. Testing that rear mount water pump for the first time. This is our first time having a rear mounted radiator and water pump on this thing. It is on methanol, so that keeps it pretty cool, but right now we're about 176 degrees. It's a 70-degree day. So it's not too hot, but it's not cold either. It seems to be staying about 175 with the fan on. My battery voltage is like 16.3. With the fan and the fuel pump and everything going all at once, I might need to upgrade to like a 200 amp alternator. It's only got like a 55 amp alternator on it. Some we'll just have to upgrade. I just transferred my my learn table to my base table. Try to get the tune a little bit closer. I lost my fuel pump when I got on it there, so we'll have to grab a fuse from something else and put it in the fuel pump. It keeps blowing the fuel pump fuse for some reason. We got to figure that out. Fuel pump fuse. When I got on it, it blew the fuel pump fuse.
So it's overloading that. I might have to put another relay in it.
Yeah.
Fucking screw this in, you got on it was like, whoosh. Better replace the bulb in it.
Okay, so this one, just do the headlights. Let's do one out of the headlights, I guess. Fucking oil pan leaks like a sieve. So whenever you, we've got the fuel pump hooked to the TPS, and whenever you full throttle it, it's overloading that little fuse and that tiny little relay. So we're gonna have to hook another relay in it back there, probably, to try and fix our issue. Hopefully we can get it to Dad's. We're just right around the corner here. All right, so we still got ignition. Issues there. First off, it blew the fuel pump fuse again. It needs another relay back there for the fuel pump, because when you ramp it up with a TPS, it's just like too much for that relay board or something. So it's directly to that relay on the board. What?
I'm happy to see it here. Under its own power.
Have you seen it like with everything done yet?
Yeah, but not like out in the daylight. That's
Did
amazing.
it stay cool?
When you're moving.
As long as you're moving, it stays cool.
Oh, it gets hot when it's sitting still?
Yeah, it's in the back. I mean, it's not getting a whole lot of air back there as it is. It got to like 190.
Oh, that ain't bad. The hood looks good.
Is this the whole...
He's a little grumpy.
Yeah, he's anxious.
I have to get that charger.
See, when it's carbureted, the intake's wet, and the intake just sucks the heat right out of it. But when it's fuel injected, you don't get that. So
Well, plus the radiator's in the back and it's small. It's on methanol. It's really not.
Set up for 8 seconds at a time and or a minute and a half at a time. Really.
Is he saying it's not a street car?
sounds like it's not a street.
As long as you're moving, it's fine. Like it stayed 175 all the way here.
Did you have the fans on?
Yeah, but when I turn the fan on, it drops the voltage from like 16.6 to like 15.9. 16.0.
I bet we're gonna have to put the higher because that's a 55 amp alternator.
It's not enough.
We're gonna have to put the 140 on.
It's not enough for that pump and the fans and the water pump.
We have to put like we did on the Nova.
And that ignition.
They
You'll
all
have to have a bigger alternator.
We need to let it cool off, and then we'll take some drone shots driving up the road. Need some 30 amp bus fuses. The little pink square fuses. You know what I'm talking
Little
about?
pink square ones?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Well,
Like the box
sorta.
style.
You don't know what I'm
The,
talking about at all, man.
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, a bus fuse is just a bus fuse, but are they push-in?
Yeah,
The little mini one?
30 amp bus
The mini
fuses,
one?
yeah.
30 amp bus fuses.
Okay.
They look like
They're
little
pink.
packages of Pez.
Little,
Maybe I better just come down there.
I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, now.
He's got them on the. They're on the shelf over there.
Are they? They got the
come in the front
internal
door, turn left.
made, right?
Yes. I'm gonna need like 50 of them.
What?
Well,
Jesus. What, you got a little short or what?
yeah.
I hope it's not the rear main seal.
It's soaked right here.
Started soaked.
The front of the pan looks dry. Everything up here's dry, except for right there. It might just be the pan gasket.
Oh, it's dripping right there. I just watch it drip right out of the back of that pan gasket. Watch right there in the middle.
Oh yeah.
It'll drip. See it getting ready to drip?
Uh-huh.
Watch.
I think it's just the pan
Pan gasket.
gasket.
This pan was wonky when we put it on too, remember?
We'll have to grind that down and paint it a little bit. It's not a pro mod. Drove it here.
It looks like a pro mod from where I'm standing.
You can do the same thing to your Malibu.
I ain't doing this to my Malibu.
You ought to.
No, I'm not. Maybe my Nova. Come on.
Yeah, maybe your Nova.
Yeah, they make that's the whole subframe on bolts on it and put a whole tubular one on it.
Yeah.
Not have to cut anything.
For the everyday sale price of $5,000.
Yeah. I mean,
She pushes easy.
oh, let it rock. Okay, come on. Got it.
Smells like earth.
Does it smell like rat piss in there?
No, it just smells like a car that's been sitting a while. I mean,
No, it smells like old Nova.
Door's shut nice. What do you think? Quarters?
I don't know, man. Did you buy doors for yours?
We have fiberglass doors,
No, I don't want the fiberglass doors.
but we use the steel doors.
Like, everything in that car is the original sheet metal except for the hood and the right front fender. Everything else is the sheet metal it was born with. And it's never been cut, it's never had quarters put on it, but it needs it really bad.
it's not even that bad.
I
Like,
mean, we could grind that down with a flap disc, and then just put a little mud in there, and then grind the mud down a little bit, and then we'll get some paint from
Mark?
and we'll just fix it.
Yeah. Except for the quarters are rotted out all the way down the seam and then in the back and like the whole thing. I mean, they're not rotted. It's just that it's old.
There's no holes.
No, it's just it needs.
They're just bubbly.
To do it right, you gotta take the back glass out, and there's a seam right here that you grind out, and it's leaded in, and you take not the lead out of there, and then panels off. And
I'd like to put doors, quarters, and the tail panel, like the tail panel where the tail lights go. It needs replaced.
The rockers look decent.
The rockers are solid.
The front fenders could probably be fixed up a little bit here.
front fenders are so cheap. What are fenders, like $125 probably?
one trip to Restoration World and you'll be solid.
Is this a steel hood?
No, it's bolt-on Glass Tech fiberglass from like 1994.
You even got a little rust bubbling right here too.
Yeah, that's it.
Time to resurrect the old
Back up in that ass with the resurrection.
nice fucking loud 427.
I like this mic deal. There was a time when this made all our stuff look like junk.
What?
The Falcon, when we bought it, we're like, this is like a space car.
It still does.
Not anymore.
I mean, performance-wise,
Huh?
nothing been proven yet. I mean, I'm gonna race the truck, but like, damn.
He's not looking forward to racing the truck because he built the Nova from scratch and then wrecked it. And he doesn't want to wreck the truck. He wants to just put it in a trophy case.
Yeah, no, that's all like, I feel like it's earned it, you know, and it's never going to be as nice as it is right now. Like, that's the nicest it's ever going to be. It's hard. Like, I'm sure my attitude towards it will change once we get all the bugs worked out and everything. Start making some shakedowns, but
We were frustrated there for
A few hours.
a few hours, you know, just trying to like, what the heck did we do? And
I told him night before last, it's just something stupid. Just something dumb.
what the heck?
What the fuck is that?
small block Ford valve covers.
Well, if I knew you had small block Ford valve covers in there, I would have swiped them for my car.
Spark plugs, cam sync, fuel rails, crank trigger, everything to build the car. Injectors.
Nobody's been in it. It's just been sitting out back. So what else? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, crank it. Big 29s.
I missed this thing. It's a hammer. Yeah, we'll be back. Bob should have the motor done soon. Yeah, that's fine.
Want me to get on there? I'm a big block. You a small block.
Yeah, get on there, test it out.
Jesus Christ, Rob.
There it is, baby.
That's the big block.
I told you I'm a big block. You're a small block. you one of them 4 trays. It's 500 inches and bigger.
Just have to beat that back in and weld it, and it'll be good. So that wasn't in the best shape anyways, because all this cutting they did.
Everything should just plug right back in and go. What I gotta figure out is the EGTs.
Get Bucko over here, start putting the new front end back together.
Make sure it's up there.
That way it's ready once we get the motor back. Got the pan gasket.
Didn't bend the motor plate, did it?
Take it out and put it in the truck.
This alternator took the abuse and then pushed against the motor plate a little bit. Robbie's gonna show us his new cam shaft. Show him, Robbie. BTR special. Cut it off!
Your dad will have this one.
Damn, he got you.
Turning point.
You don't have AC though.
But I got radios.
I will have. You heard me?
Oh,
Those wheels polished up good though.
I got fat man steering wheel.
Did you get some of that Jack's wax stuff?
No,
Yeah.
that was stuff from Autos.
He's got a fat Jack's
I
wax.
got Jack's wax, yeah.
We need to get some Jack's wax stuff.
I got that fancy steering wheel.
Do you really? I don't even have that. Well, that's because my car's a street car.
Oh shit! Look, he's got the quick connect.
Look at Robbie. Look at Robbie with the
This
race
is your
car.
segment.
Breaker 19.
I got one of them clackety clacks, you know.
You know, when the Malibu gets back, this will probably be a pretty good race.
Oh God, no.
Are we gonna start this? I mean, I probably got better odds with this against the Malibu than you did against Kenny's car. Ooh. Oh.
I mean, I beat him the last time we raced. But
True that, true that. I don't know, it'll probably be a good race though.
that little engine in there just has way too much room.
Look how much,
You can put like
eight
turbos on there.
it doesn't get hot, it starts right up. It runs like 170, no matter what. I think it's gonna be all right. Here's some stuff I wanna
The
clean
ladies
up.
at Taco Bell like it.
They do too. They said, can you rev your engine?
Oh.
I said,
revved it right there at the
we
window.
revved it right there.
Robbie said, let me show you.
Yeah. I said, rev her up. It's gonna be fun. Cool little car. I love it. Brings me back. I
Hey,
found
what'd you name it?
Warren G.
Warren G. Harding?
Not the president. The rapper.
Because that's what Vicky said. He named it after an old president.
No, I got the text message later that night and said, okay, we have to solve a dilemma. Is it the president or the rapper? I said, it's the rapper. Wait. I got 60-40. I had to bust these out from high school, son. What you know about all this?
Oh my God.
This, you don't know nothing about this. You weren't even born yet. This is every CDs that I had in high school. I got 3 of these books.
It's got a CD player.
Oh yeah, that's what's in there right now. Yeah.
What you know about an 8-track?
I got one. We got one of those at the house.
One of them big Bibles and start.
No, no, not at all. I mean, what do you know about that, dude? Look how old that is.
Limp Bizkit.
That's first Limp Bizkit album right there.
Pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, I got whatever you want. I got Linkin Park, Nickel. Yeah, I think so. Somewhere in here. There's some Prince.
Audio Slayer.
What else we got? I do. Here's Tupac. I got all the Tupacs. There's 2000 Usher.
You got Charizard or Pikachu?
No. Big Pun. What you know about Big Pun? I got all of them. All right. For all the old school listeners out there, name the CD. You are a true old school if you know what that CD is.
All right, so successful day. We got some bugs fixed on the S10, got to drive it around for the first time basically, and I think we're getting down to the nitty gritty with it. We're starting to narrow down all the little problems it has. We're gonna put an oil pan gasket on it tomorrow because the oil pan's leaking a little bit. Go over everything, nut and bolt check, and we should be ready for the dyno soon, so expect that soon. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.